Vincent stood by the window, hands in his pockets, eyes fixed on the city below. His mind carried 1,000 thoughts. Like scattered diamonds, the skyline of Beverly Hills stretched beyond the glass. Cool night air slicked in, gently lifting the curtains. He feared for her safety. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't shake the sickening thought that Grim Voss would find her again. Behind him, Carlos's fingers clicked rapidly against the keyboard, his 55-year-old face washed in the blue glow of the screen. He knew Vincent was waiting, and it only sharpened his anxiety. What stared back at him on the monitor was a world Vincent should never tangle with. Carlos swallowed hard, his thoughts racing. "Carlos," Vincent said quietly, "why do I have a feeling you're keeping me waiting on purpose?" Vincent could read the room. He'd grown beside the man for the last 34 years. He knew him inside out. "Did you find him?" Vincent asked. His tone was calm, but it pressed. Carlos didn't look up. "I found enough." Vincent's reflection shifted in the glass. "Enough?" "3 names, same man," Carlos said. "Grim Voss here, Elias Crane in Berlin, Victor Hale back in Hamburg. Different suits, same chipped onyx ring. He doesn't hide it, he flaunts it." Vincent turned slightly, one brow lifting. "And?" Carlos pulled a grainy image onto the screen. A hand holding a glass, a single black king tucked beneath it. "He leaves these behind, not a signature, a warning." Vincent studied the image. His jaw tightened once. "Where was this taken?" "No date. Could be 5 years ago, could be last night. Doesn't matter. He leaves ledgers too. Judges, CEOs, names you don't touch, crossed out like debts collected. Not money. Silence." Vincent faced him fully now. "Receipts." "And recordings, whispers. There's a federal seal on one file. He's flagged but redacted. If the feds know him, they're not talking. Probably can't." Carlos leaned back. "One prosecutor tried last year. His career ended in 2 days." Silence stretched. Vincent's fingers tapped against the glass once, twice. His calm wasn't calm anymore. Why isn't he already in a cell? Carlos finally looked up. Because he doesn't just move women or cash. He moves stories. Papers print what he feeds them. Politicians stutter when his name comes up. DAs give speeches, then retire. He doesn't fight. He edits the room so he's already won. Vincent's voice dropped. "I don't like being vulnerable." "You're not," Carlos said. "But he humbles men who thought they weren't either. That's his game. A card in the pocket, a ring in the dark. Then men vanish. Or worse, they stay, but they're not men anymore. They're puppets." Vincent's eyes narrowed. "Find me someone he's erased. A name, a date, something I can use." Carlos shook his head. "That leaves fingerprints. He watches for those. He calls when men are alone." Vincent stepped away from the glass. "Then give me noise, something I can drown him with." Carlos slid the folder shut, the black king hidden away. "You'll have it." But noise doesn't scare him. He sells silence. When Vincent didn't speak, Carlos hesitated. He knew that look. Just like his father. "Sir," Carlos said carefully, "with the heat from the divorce and the looming threat of a takeover, this is too much. A bigger bite." "Good," Vincent replied, "because I'm hungry." His eyes flashed. "You'd be putting her life in danger, if it isn't already. Making women like her disappear is work he leaves for his underdogs." Vincent didn't answer. He turned back to the city, the calm mask returning. But his reflection in the glass tapped once more. Carlos was right, because when Jennifer opened her door the next morning, Voss stepped in, followed by two men, all three dressed in black suits. Voss walked like he owned the place. He lowered his tall frame into a chair and crossed his legs. Jennifer froze in the center of the room. Her breathing slowed, panic tightening her chest. She feared she'd pass out from lack of oxygen. Voss's eyes roamed over her. Her body trembled, refusing to obey her mind. "Gentlemen," he said casually, shifting in his seat. "How many times a month am I seen?" His Russian accent was cold, sharp as ice flakes. His gaze was menacing. "Not once, sir," one of the men replied. "You hear that, Jennifer?" Voss tilted his head toward her. "Not once. You know what that means?" He reached for an apple from the basket on the table. Jennifer shook her head weakly, tears sliding down her cheeks. "It means a man like myself has far too much to do," he continued. "Yet I drag myself twice in the same week on a 2-hour journey to visit this filth." He bit into the apple. The crunch echoed loudly. Jennifer shuddered. His eyes drifted to the fresh mints on the table. He gestured to one of his men, who counted them quickly. "It's complete," the man said. Voss smiled. Well, well, well. Looks like Maybach Boy has come to the rescue." He hurled the apple at Jennifer. She flinched, her heart nearly stopping. Voss stood and walked slowly toward her. "Jennifer," he said. His deep voice shook the walls. His thumb traced the cut on her lip. "I like you," he murmured. "But I don't like deaf girls." He smirked, cruelty etched into his face. "Stay away from him. This is my final warning. Even you won't get more than 3. At the door, just before leaving, he stopped and turned back. "Suppose," he said lightly, "you discovered you had a sister. And suppose I sent her remains in a box, with DNA results matching yours." His smile widened. "We wouldn't want that, now would we?" The smirk on his face was the last thing Jennifer saw before her knees gave way. She collapsed to the floor, sobbing. A new, suffocating fear wrapped around her. What was she supposed to do? Jennifer didn't step out of her apartment the next morning. Not for groceries, not for air. She sat curled on the couch with her knees hugged to her chest, eyes swollen, hair tangled, waiting for the knock that never came. Her phone lit up 5 times. Vincent Moretti. Each time she let it ring until the silence mocked her. She had made a promise to herself. Stay away. He was dangerous, even if his smile tried to convince her otherwise. By evening, her resolve betrayed her. The television flickered to life, revealing a live panel. Vincent's face appeared beside Tracy's. The anchors' voices dripped with poison. Billionaire divorce scandal takes a new twist. Mystery woman spotted by the pool. Jennifer's blood ran cold. A blurred image flashed across the screen. Her red dress, that night she had sworn to forget. "Who is she?" one reporter teased, smirking at the camera. "And why does she look exactly like the woman Tracy claims ruined her marriage?" Jennifer's stomach flipped. Her chest heaved as she muted the TV. She hadn't done anything. Nothing but sit across a table. Nothing but eat a meal she couldn't even finish. Yet the world had already decided. Homewrecker. Her phone buzzed again. A message this time. "Vincent. Don't believe any of it. Vincent. I'll fix this. She dropped the phone like it burned. Fix it? He didn't understand. For women like her, scandal wasn't a headline. It was a death sentence. The phone buzzed again, but this time it wasn't Vincent. A number she knew too well. Grim Voss. You think you're clever? You think he'll protect you? Grim Voss. Men like him build cages. I build graves. Her knees buckled. She clamped a hand over her mouth to stop the scream. She must have dozed off, because when her eyes opened again, the room was pitch black, just in time to hear a car door slam shut outside. A tall figure hovered at her door. She saw him through the keyhole. Vincent. She leaned her forehead against the door. Why wouldn't he leave her alone? The knocking persisted. She unlocked it. The scent of his cologne filled the air. He bowed his head and let out a heavy sigh. You weren't picking my calls. I was worried. His face mirrored his words, forehead creased with concern. But worry wouldn't keep her safe. I might be a lot of things, she said, her voice trembling. But I am not a homewrecker. That is not me. He stepped inside, her small, neat, cozy space. You're not, he said calmly. But it's too late for regrets now. Her eyes widened. Was he insane? I cannot believe you just said that, she whispered, clutching her head with both hands. He caught her arms to steady her, their eyes locking. This is all meant to throw me off my game, he said. They don't have anything, so they're poking around. Tracy is behind this, and I'm not going to let her win. His voice was reassuring, but to Jennifer, Tracy was the least of the threats. But Grim, I'm looking into that too, he cut in. But tonight, you're coming with me. The slander won't stop until I make them understand that you're with me. Her eyes flashed. She wasn't property. I don't belong to you. You don't, he agreed. He opened the door. But like I said, tonight, you're coming with me. Tracy Donovan glided across the grand, airy hall like she'd stepped out of a fashion editorial. The emerald green gown clung to her curves. Her hips swayed deliberately. Guests greeted her with warm smiles, some whispering apologies she accepted graciously. My intentions were pure, she told them softly. I didn't lose. She stopped at Murphy's table. He was entertaining a guest. Tracy, you must remember Michael Salvatore, Murphy said warmly. Of course, Tracy smiled. The brains behind Cosmic Universe. An honour, sir. The honour is mine, Miss Donovan, Michael replied, shaking her hand, his gaze lingering just a second too long. Michael just gave me some good news, Murphy said. Tracy laughed with him. We look forward to working with you, Mr. Salvatore. Expect my full cooperation, Michael replied, tapping his glass. As they sat, a few men approached to greet Murphy. Tracy seized the moment, pulling out her phone. She sent a single message to a private number. Do it now. The room fell silent when District Attorney Marcus Lee entered. His reputation preceded him. He wasn't just another lawyer, he was the man who decided who stood trial. He shook Murphy's hand. Laughter exchanged easily. Tracy's smile brightened as he turned to her. And this must be Miss Donovan, he said smoothly, kissing the back of her hand. How photographs fail to capture your true beauty. A pleasure, sir, she replied. He turned to Murphy with a teasing grin. We should sue the Morettis for discarding such beauty so cruelly. Tracy's eyes flickered. Murphy nodded. That we should, Marcus. Wine glasses clinked, Laughter rippled. Then the cameras turned sharply toward the glass doors. A hush swept through the hall. A man in a black tuxedo stepped inside, moving with calm authority. And beside him, Jennifer. Fragile, delicate, too beautiful to be real. She stepped into the light. Tracy's phone buzzed on the table. Done. Her lips curled into the faintest smirk. Jennifer's breath caught as 100 cameras flashed. The hush thickened as every camera swiveled toward the tall glass doors. Vincent Moretti stepped into the hall, his tuxedo tailored sharp against his frame, silk bow tie knotted with precision, the gleam of his patent shoes catching the light. Authority clung to him like a second skin, polished, deliberate, every inch the man who never asked for permission to exist. Beside him, Jennifer looked almost unreal. The midnight blue satin gown moulded to her curves before spilling into a mermaid flare that glittered with crystal accents beneath the chandeliers. Off-shoulder straps bared the delicate slope of her collarbones, while a diamond bracelet glimmered at her wrist, the only jewel she dared wear. Silver stilettos lengthened her fragile frame, her hair swept up to expose the soft line of her throat. She walked like someone who didn't belong there, yet somehow stole the room's breath anyway. The cameras went mad. Reporters surged forward, voices rising, flashes exploding like gunfire. To them, she wasn't a woman in a gown. She was a headline in satin, a scandal draped on the arm of power. Across the room, Tracy Donovan lowered her phone, her smirk deepening. The trap had worked. The first reporter dared to speak. Mr. Moretti, the Safe Haven Charity Foundation has received generous donations from Moretti homes in the past. Should we expect the same this year? Vincent walked slowly, his calm presence commanding silence. He smiled at the reporter. No, his voice carried through the hall. Then, with a deliberate glance at Jennifer, he added, This year's donation is courtesy of Miss Jennifer Lawrence. Gasps rippled across the room. Cameras flashed harder. Another reporter jumped in. Mr. Moretti, who is Miss Lawrence to you? She's a good friend, Vincent replied smoothly. He paused, then added, and my new secretary. The idea had been Carlos's, but Vincent delivered it like it had always been his own. But sir, another voice pressed, Moretti Homes faces a split pending your divorce. Is this the time to be hiring new staff? Vincent almost laughed. His gaze slid briefly toward Tracy's table, her smugness daring him. Jennifer is competent, he said firmly. Moretti needs all the brains it can get. He guided Jennifer away, settling her onto a bar stool. She sat rigid, breath shallow. Every glance in the room felt like a blade against her skin. Leaning on one elbow, Vincent studied her. You should wear dresses like this more often, he said quietly. You're beautiful. The sincerity in his tone unravelled her. She shifted, her chest tightening. She had actually blushed. I'm scared, she whispered, eyes downcast. He tilted his head, his gaze soft, unwavering. Do you trust me? She nodded, not because she truly did, but because if she had ever felt safe, it was beside this dangerous man. Good, he said. His eyes flicked over her shoulder. There she is. Someone I'd like you to meet. Jennifer froze. She didn't dare turn. Poised footsteps approached, carrying a faint lavender fragrance. Vincent, a woman's voice sang warmly. My God, it's been ages. A woman in her 50s embraced him briefly, kissing his cheek. He smiled wide. You always wanted a blonde kid, he teased. And I wasn't one. She slapped his arm playfully. Oh, don't tell me you're still jealous of Tristan. Her gaze fell on Jennifer. My God, are those eyes real? Vincent chuckled. She's right here before you. The woman extended her hand. Felicity Lourdes. Jennifer's breath caught. She had seen that name splashed across magazines. Felicity owned the third largest modelling agency in the country. And you must be Jennifer Lawrence, Felicity said warmly. Eyes like sapphire, hair like silk. How on earth is this beauty possible? She tugged gently at Jennifer's hair. Turning to Vincent, Felicity declared, I need her. You can't deny me this one. I haven't heard the sweet part yet, Vincent teased. A hefty signing bonus? Any apartment she wants? Jonathan will draft the contract, Felicity said, smiling sharply. Before Jennifer could process a word, an uproar rippled through the hall. Phones lit up, screens flashed. Jennifer's heart lurched when Vincent stiffened. He saw it too. A photo of her, heels, miniskirt, cigarette glowing. A man's hand gripping her inappropriately. Vincent's gaze snapped to Tracy. She smirked. His jaw tightened. His phone vibrated. Fix this. He tapped the screen so hard it nearly cracked. The image vanished online within seconds, but the damage was already done. Reporters swarmed, cameras blinded. Are you the Latina escort to Mr. Moretti? Are you the homewrecker? How long has the affair been going on? Jennifer's lungs collapsed. She buried her face, suffocated by voices and light. Then a bark cut through the chaos. Cold, lethal. Scram! Silence fell. Every eye turned to Vincent. His stare was murderous, fury radiating. The crowd recoiled. He wrapped an arm firmly around Jennifer's back and guided her out, daring anyone to interfere. The heavy doors shut behind them, sealing them inside the midnight blue Rolls-Royce. That night, she woke screaming. Hands pushed her beneath dark water. She fought, choking, reaching, first seeing Vincent's face, then hearing Voss's voice. The face shifted. It was Voss. She bolted upright, drenched in sweat. A glass of water, shaky breaths, goosebumps crawled her skin. A muffled sound, footsteps. Her heart slammed. She grabbed the knife by the sink. Silence. Then scuffling, retreating steps. She crouched beneath the kitchen table, trembling. Minutes passed before she crawled to the door. A yellow envelope waited outside. Inside, one photo. Her and Vincent at the gala, his face slashed out in red ink. One mistake costs everything. Her knees buckled. She collapsed to the floor. This has been episode 3. Now the stakes are high. The media knows of Jennifer as the homewrecker. Why do you think Vincent wants to keep her? What do you think Voss will do? And what do you think the Donovans are planning against Vincent Moretti? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to this channel to follow this series.